Okay. Hi. I am going to show you today how to make almond milk, and then I'll post all of the incredible things that are in almond milk that help you with mental health. Lots of people talk about physical health on the aspect of what it does for the body, but I talk about what's attached to it, which is our brain. Being I've been teaching psychology for a minute now. And I want to share with you the things that you can put in your body nutritively that will help you bolster good memory, good learning, good attitude, good affect, good effect. So let's get started. Now this is in my little kitchen. I guess I can say I'm coming from a minimalist perspective, and I want you to see that I'm going to be using a Blendtec blender, but I'm also going to see how this particular blender works. This is one I use to travel with so that I can make my own smoothies and shakes to keep myself nutritively bolstered even when I'm on the road traveling. So we're going to look at this one. This is only 15 bucks. This one is about 350 bucks. But I'm also going to have with the description of what goes on mentally as far as having good nutrition in your brain. How you can use a blender that is very inexpensive and not deny yourself this kind of nutritional food intake. Okay? The first thing is, and I've been experimenting with these particular almonds, they have been in the refrigerator underwater for about 3 weeks. So based upon my smell, they smell good to me. So you have to blanch the almonds. You have to soak them for at least 8 hours. I've been experimenting to see if it gives me a smoother consistency of milk. I have read that the longer you keep it in water, the smoother the milk will be. And it doesn't lose its nutritional value because it's under cold water. So I have a strainer, and I dump all the almonds in the strainer. I rinse them off with filtered water. I have a filter on my tap, and I rinse it off. Then I take the almonds and I pour them into my blender. Okay, I'm going to have to slice this up a bit because I want to show people exactly what I'm doing. Okay, I'll just splice this part of the video up. Okay, this right here is a drying rack. Like I said, it's a tiny kitchen. So put the almonds in. Okay, now this looks like a lot of almonds, but it's really, this is 16 ounces for almonds, and with 16 ounces of almonds I'm going to be able to get at least probably about 64 ounces of almond milk, okay, which is very high in calcium and protein. And again, I'm going to put all that stuff in the bottom underneath of the YouTube so that you can see it. So I have, and I always keep clean water in my sink so I can rinse as I go. I like to clean as I go. I don't want all that left over when I'm finished cleaning. So now I'm going to take 16 ounces of almonds, and for every cup, which is 8 ounces, it needs 2 cups of water. So being I have 2 cups, it's going to need 4 cups of water. I use filtered water. My filter needs to be replaced soon. Okay, this is 2 cups, and I'll fill it up again, and it'll be 4 cups. I'm going to have to splice this thing up quite a bit, okay? Alright, so there's my 4 cups of water. I wear an apron so I can have something to wipe my hands all the time. Here is a pitcher that I purchased from IKEA. So it was like $1.99. And I have a nut bag, which you can purchase at any, I don't know about the conventional grocery stores, but I know at Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and places like that, you can purchase a nut bag. And a lot of people use cheesecloth, but I use the nut bag and I reuse it. I wash it out and reuse it over and over until the seed split is what I use. Okay, so I'm preparing this. And now, which I should have had all this ready in the first place, which is my container that I am going to put my milk in when I'm finished. Let me just rinse it out real quick, because it's been in my cupboard for a while. So I'll rinse that out. I have that waiting. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a couple of nuts and just put them in this blender just so I can see how it works. Okay, handful is probably a 1/4 cup, so probably just, I don't know, maybe 1/4 cup, a cup of water. Try to do it in this small blender to see how that works. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to go ahead and use the large blender. Turn it on. Okay, this is the blender that they use in Starbucks, the Blend-Tec blender. So it's pretty heavy duty. It's a pretty good blender. We've had it for a while. We've used it 1,486 times. So here we are again today, and it's going to be loud, so I'm going to probably splice this part out of the video. This video is to show me all the things I need to do or not do for another video. Okay, so now I have almond milk, but it also has the meat of the almond in here. So what I have to do is separate the meat so that I can just have the milk. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try this one. This is the first time I've tried this or attempted this. First time for everything. Okay, so I have to make sure I got that set up. Oh, I just unplugged the blender. That's okay, I don't need it anymore. So I have to make sure to do that ahead of time. Okay. Now, let's see how this bad boy works with a 1/4 cup of these nuts. Let's see if it works. Oh, look, it seems like it works. Except it would be smart if I closed the lid. Let's look and see how this bad boy worked. Well, I'll be darned. The little Hamilton Beach blender works. So for all the people like, girl, I can't afford no $350 blender. Well, go out and get yourself a Hamilton Beach blender. You won't be able to make as much milk, but you'll be able to make enough to give yourself 8 ounces. So this is the Hamilton Beach blender. I probably should call them and say, hey, talking about your blender. Okay, so we've got this milk and we've got this milk. So now we are going to take the milk and pour it into the pitcher that is lined with the nut bag. Okay, as much as you can. And then you're going to take the sides of the nut bag, just gather it all together and slowly begin to squeeze. And I usually do this in my sink. So if there's spillage, it's right there in the sink. So I just squeeze it gently, not too harsh, but as you can see, look how much milk it's already yielded. This is all from almonds. You can do this with coconuts as well. You get organic coconut chips, and you can do the same thing with macadamia nuts. I had a student tell me that their mom uses cantaloupe seeds, so don't waste anything. And the same nutrients that you're getting from that fruit, vegetable, in this case this nut, you're going to definitely get it from the milk. Okay. Now, as far as milk goes, people will say, well, do you give this to babies instead of cow's milk? Well, I don't think you should give babies cow's milk. I think you should give babies mama's milk, because we're the one mammal on the planet that gives our young another mammal's milk. But I'm not a medical doctor. And in order for you to see this, you had to hit the disclaimer that I'm a researcher. I research things. And I've been using this milk for quite some time. We were using soy for a while, but found out that soy has a lot of estrogen in it. And I do have a husband, companion, partner, whatever you want to refer in the 21st century. I call him my husband. It's my buddy, my pal. And I don't want him having too much estrogen, you know what I'm saying? So I've squeezed out an awful lot of the milk from this, as much as possible. Okay. Alrighty. So now what I do with the milk when I'm finished with it, I can run myself some more water in here. I'll have to remember to do that. I have these little containers where I put all of my organic, not shells, but anything that is not edible as far as meat chewing and putting in my body, like stems maybe. I don't put eggshells, and I don't put meat. I don't eat a lot of meat, hardly any, mostly salmon, but that's it. And I put the remains of the meat from the almonds in my compost. Shake it in my compost. Okay. And then I take it to a neighborhood garden, and they love it. They love getting the compost because it fertilizes the ground for plants, fruits, and vegetables, rather than using animal protein manure. So I've got enough milk. I have a container that I've saved from whatever, and meaning whatever juice or whatever, to recycle. And I pour my milk in. that almond milk. Okay, now since I still had some left, I take the nut bag, put it back in here, and I pour the rest out of the Blend-Tec blender. And I'm also going to pour what I blended from this blender, which is really cool. I didn't know it would do that. And now, it doesn't blend it as well, but it did a pretty decent job. So now I know I can stick a nut bag in here, and when I'm on the road, I can make myself almond milk. If I want to have cold cereal or just drink the milk, whatever. I think that's pretty awesome. So I do the same thing. I am separating the milk from the meat of the almond. Okay. Now, if you were to take 350, let's add tax, and $365, let's say. So that's $1 a day for a blender. And I've had this blender now since 2007, so it's 13 years old. And if you take $1 a day and divide it into 13, this blender is well worth it, because I use it for all kinds of things. My husband makes really good drinks every morning for us that are very nutritional. So again, here's the meat. I'm going to put it in my compost. Okay, pour over the rest of my milk, and with 1 cup blanched, which means soap, I made almost a gallon of almond milk with no carrageenan gum, no xanthan gum, no preservatives, because I made it. It's not going to sit on a shelf somewhere. And so I'm getting all that I need from it. And I tried a little experiment that I blanched it in my fridge for probably about 3 weeks, but it was in my refrigerator cold. So the refrigerator is a wonderful invention. And invention by a black man, by the way, refrigeration. I'll make sure to include that in my video. And I think we have done it. We've got almond milk. Now I just want to show you what I do with the nut bag. I rinse it out, and then I wash it. Don't have to necessarily run water. And because it's inside out, I go along the seams of it so I don't have nut milk meat in the seams, because I reuse this bag. I have probably reused this bag now for almost, I don't know, probably over a year. So I guess the nut bag people found that out, because they used to give you 2 bags in one package. Now they only give you 1, so you know you have to buy them sometime, another one. But yeah, see, there's a stubborn one that's stuck in there, and you just pull it out. As it got in, it can get out. And again, you go through the seam, you clean out all of the meat, you rinse it, and I'll put it up here on my dish dryer so it can dry out. When it's done, I'll stick it in the drawer. So now I have almond milk. That's all it takes. Oh yeah, and I'm also rocking Black Girls Codes. I'll have to make sure I'll always be rocking somebody's cause, because we work in collaboration for helping the BOP, as they call us, the bottom of the pyramid, the 98 percenters. So Black Girls Code is something you can look at online. It's an organization from the phenomenal Kimberly Bryant. And signing out, it's my organization, Why We Do What We Do. I am a woman.